7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You'll never have the sacred stone.
Oh, this you crazy mother.
Hi, and welcome back to the NightChild Reviews Prince. And this video is about the results to a question I put out there. What are your most unappreciated Prince songs? Now, the first thing I've got to say is thank you to everybody who responded. I had lots of responses on different social media networks and tweets and on YouTube, and I really appreciate that. It's fantastic. Some of the responses are really just songs I never would have thought of, and I really appreciate everybody who responded. Now, I've picked my favourite top 5, and I'm going to go through those songs and just sort of talk about these songs, and hopefully, people will pick up these songs again, or if they overlooked them, or look at them again and think, these are songs that really are worth taking a bit of time over. So, here we go. The first song is The War. Now, The War was nominated by a YouTube user called Fan Paddy. Great guy, know him quite well, phenomenal guy, really amazing dude. Now, he nominated The War. The War is a remarkable song. I mean, it holds the distinction of being the longest officially released, that's important to say, officially released Prince song there's ever been. Originally at a concert when Prince first played The War, it lasted for 45 minutes, but that was cut down to just 26 minutes, just a mere 26 minutes. It's amazing because it's based on the Gil Scott-Heron mode. He had a video and a poem that was called "The Revolution Will Not Be Televised." Amazing poem. He's a great guy, Gil Scott-Heron, a phenomenal artist, really worth looking at some of his work. But this is based on that, and Prince implores the audience to say that the evolution will not be colourised. He talks about technology and apocalypse and the fears of the future and the threat, and it's just very political. But it's a long, stretched out monster jam, 26 minutes. It just takes you on that journey. It's one of those kind of great times where you really feel like there's a late night at Paisley Park and you're there and you're hearing Prince kind of talk about some of his beliefs. Really amazing song, so check that out, The War. The next song was nominated by a guy on YouTube who has the greatest name of all. He's called Pimpin' on Wax Funky Pimp. Now, you can't argue with that. That's a remarkable name. And his nomination was Crucial. Now, Crucial, I cannot help but think of Adore. Adore and Crucial, I think, I'm saying they're in a similar mould. Crucial really gets overlooked. It was released from the Crystal Ball album. Unlike The War was only released as a sort of standalone single, wasn't on an album. The Crucial song was just released and kind of, maybe it got lost in the mix because there's so many things on Crystal Ball. But it's just remarkable. These long, amazing kind of horns, these phenomenally kind of almost sugary but beautiful ballads, this just amazing sound, this really rich kind of beautiful 80s sound. This is just a real classic, and it's a shame that it doesn't get talked of as much as songs like Adore or any of the Prince's really kind of classic ballads, because this is just really worth a trip. Really, try Crucial, you won't be disappointed. The next song is quite an interesting one. It's nominated by a guy called Fancy Ray McCloney. And it is, and also Miss Little T, she also nominated this. It's called Poo Poo. Poo Poo is on the Crystal Ball, and it is just, it's almost, what can you say? It's almost a funny, jokey song. It's kind of, can't stop thinking about you, get the Poo Poo, and it's just brilliant. It's, I think Prince said it was like kind of the song when you're lifting weights, and it's kind of, it's been that kind of humour, and it's one of those classic songs. I always think of songs like this, like What's My Name and Calhoun Square, and I think the thing about all these songs is that they just got a bit lost in the mix. The Crystal Ball was a big project to take on, and obviously the way it's distributed wasn't widely publicised. A lot of people had to pre-order it, and those people that didn't, it wasn't made a big thing of in the stores. But there's some real gems on there. And Pum Pum, you can't listen to Pum Pum without smiling. You put it on your headphones and you can't not smile. It's just one of those songs that's funny. Some people say, oh, it's throwaway, it's not great art on here, but it's funny, it's humorous, it makes you smile, and ultimately, isn't that what entertainment and music is about? It's to lift your spirits just for a few moments. So, Pum Pum, fantastic song. The last song that was, last two songs that are nominated are classics, I think. The first song was nominated by a guy you may well all know called Captain of the Peach and Black podcast, and his song is Temptation. Temptation is a filthy, dirty, funky, sexual, spiritual, religious, erotic ensemble. It is remarkable. Prince, and you've got these slow kind of drum beats and this kind of horny, pop goes mama when daddy give a little too much, and you've got this amazing bit at the end where Prince has this kind of argument, if you like, this discussion with God, something he did on the Purple Rain tours as well. And it's kind of like, you don't understand the difference between love and lust, and now you must die. And Prince is like, no, you must die. And it's just the interchange, and it sums up Prince beautifully. On one hand, there's sex. On one hand, there's spirituality, which is the human condition. Humans like sex. We have a spiritual side, and I think that just sums it up. And it's just perfect kind of. This track doesn't always get a lot of love. People like The Ladder, and yet they don't really talk about temptation. But temptation is kind of filthy funk, but with a really spiritual vibe, and that really encapsulates the human condition. So yeah, it's worth it. There's also this fantastic bit at the end where Prince just screams. This just amazing Prince scream, and he says, now I understand. Now I understand. Love is more important than sex. I have to go now. And it's just this kind of notion that Prince was battled with love versus lust. It's something that happened a lot in Computer Blue, in the extended version, and it's just something that Prince always plays about with. And I think sometimes there's a very binary attitude that you must either have love or you must have lust. But these two things obviously combine, these two things play into each other, and they are both parts of the human psyche. Victor Unknown nominated La 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 He, which was written as a bet. And it's quite interesting that they said to Prince, I think it was Sheena Easton, I could be wrong, I think it was Sheena Easton, could have been Sheena, I think it was Sheena Easton, who said, you can't write a song like this. A song has to have something, it has to have something to it has to have a meaning, a kind of vibe, it has to have a thought, it has to have some kind of deep meaning. And he said, no, I can make a song out of anything. And she said, fine, make a song out of La 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 He. And Prince did. And I urge you, if at all possible, please check out the extended version of this. The extended version of this is just pure classic 80s Prince funk. It is just phenomenal. It kind of goes on for 8 to 9 minutes, and it's just fantastic. You've got these sampled dog barks and talks about the dogs and the cats and the kind of La 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 He. Just awesome. Do you know it was Sheena Easton? It was Sheena Easton, I remember now. Brain, just, yeah. The interesting thing about this song also was it was the B-side to Sign of the Times. I mean, one of Prince's most iconic songs, so we clearly thought quite a lot of it. And it's quite interesting, the interplay between the cat and the dog, one's in a tree, and sort of, the kind of, Prince does that a lot with animals, like with Scarlet Pussy. And, he uses those kind of ideas in a kind of different way, so it's a fantastic song, really great song, but check out the extended version. I'm going to throw in a quick one of my own, which is from the Lotus Flower project, which is called Feel Better, Feel Good, Feel Wonderful. I just adore this song. It's just got some fantastic lyrics about Prince talks about his guitar tapping on that. It was the first one to tap on the crag and brought forth border, and it'll keep feeding you, but first things first. And it's just a real upbeat, kind of funky. It's the kind of thing he would have done in the 80s. People would say, oh, this is fantastic, pure funk. And sometimes in the later projects, however good it is, people don't always appreciate it in the same way. But it is just funk. It's just up, kind of almost James Browny, kind of evangelistic, and just it's fantastic. It's pumping. It's feel good. Feel wonderful. Just it's brilliant. It's just zappy and fun, and just a tremendous track. A real upbeat, lifting, pumping track. Fantastic track. I really thank everybody who responded. Really means a lot to me, and there's some really good songs there, and it's really made me think about some songs which perhaps I don't give enough love to. One of the problems we have, and it's a nice problem to have as Prince fans, we have such a huge back catalogue of songs, and that's without touching any live stuff or bootleg stuff, just the officially released stuff. There's so much stuff it's hard to know where to begin. It's hard to know what to listen to on any given day. It's hard to have a system. And, perhaps let me know, do you have a kind of sort of plan or system? Because some people have said to me that they listen to the Prince chronology, every single album Prince has released. They say once a year they pick out the albums and they play them like for 2 or 3 days each, and they just literally go from For You right up until the present day of Plectrum Electrum and Artificial Age, and I just listen through those albums. And some people say, well, I'm just going to listen to whatever I want to listen to. Some people say, oh, I listen to Orange Park Radio, and whatever comes up, and that's a fantastic mix. Or some people say, I put everything on my iPod, and press a button and just have it randomly go over the place. Or, you know, some people say, no, I like to listen to an album, you know, a full album of material, not just the odd song here and there, but just interesting thought, let me know. But anyway, thank you for everybody who responded, really appreciate it, and I'll be back soon. See you soon.